Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are on Earth. My name's Jade, and this is How to App on iOS, and it's Friday here in Australia, Thursday for the rest of you living in the past. This is How to App on iOS, yeah. And I'm up early and I'm excited. Welcome to the show. Scott, g'day, can see you there already in the chat. So I actually wasn't going to do a show because I normally don't do a show on Friday because I normally do an interview, and I still am doing an interview. But I thought I would continue on with Songtember and do another episode today and just cover a few things that I feel like I need to cover. So I wanted to go over my artwork for the album and show you what's going on. G'day Tom, Rochelle in the chat, and Benedict Stewart, welcome aboard. So I really wanted to just go over my artwork to show you what's happening there, and I wanted to show a few other things that have happened, and I wanted to cover a topic because I feel like it's really important after making a post on the Garageband users group yesterday. How do you do, Pete Johns? Fantastic interview over on Pete Johns' channel with Gary Hubbs. I was just hanging out it was really informative, and love Gary's music, so it was really cool to put a close-up face to the man behind the music, so it was really cool. Thank you for that, Pete. Okay, so let's get into what I want to talk about first, and it's going to be fun. iOS 14. Let's get this baby put to bed. Yesterday I put a post up saying, look, in my opinion, I probably didn't put that in the post, which I should have, and I tried to explain in the post why it was my opinion. Not to, if you have a device, an iOS device that you use as your main music driver to create music, why I believe it is not a good idea to update to iOS 14 on day one. Okay? Any other device that you have, hey, go for it. Have at it. If you've got a phone that you don't really use for making music, have the fuck at it, really. You know, but if you have a device that is your main driver, I don't recommend it. And I'm going to start off and I'm going to show you why. Because last night I have an iPhone 6S that I basically use for my alarm clock since I got an iPhone SE. It sits by my bed with my SE, and I pick up either one because they look the same. So I thought last night, you know, why not? It's got nothing on it really. It still has a few of the music apps I used to use on it, still sitting on there. A lot of it I've cleared off for memory. And I thought, let's put iOS 14 on. And then I thought, let's have a look at some music apps and see exactly what's going on. Now, I will preface this. The reason that I do say do not install it onto a driver is I've been using iOS for a long, long time. And every time there's a major update, not just a dot update, so from a 13 to a 14, from a 10 to an 11, whatever you want to call it, apps break. GarageBand normally doesn't break, but let's be honest, anybody who was using GarageBand back on the iOS 11 update will know that GarageBand did fucking break, and it broke for a month. You couldn't even open it. It just shut down as soon as you opened the app. GarageBand was in hell, and Apple, in their infinite wisdom, didn't really do much to get it sorted that quickly. And during that time too, with iOS 11, I was using Auria Pro a damn lot, and Auria Pro was off the shelf for me with that update for about 2 months, and it was heartbreaking. It destroyed my creativity. I was living in America at the time. I was really sick at the time, and I depended on my creativity to keep doing music for my health, and it fucked me up big time. So that is why I suggest it not to do it. And you know what? It's sometimes good to sit back and let other people go and do it and rush in. Fools rush in. How does Neil say it from the Young Ones? These rush in where angels fear to tread. No, Neil, it's fools. Oh, yeah. Fools rush in where... Anybody who's a Young Ones fan will understand that joke. Anyone who doesn't will think, what the fuck? Anyway, so look, it dropped yesterday, and it's better to see other people go and make the mistakes than you. All right. And that's what I normally do. Wait a week, read the forums, go to the groups on Facebook, any forums that you're a part of. Another great forum, if you're not a part of, to join up is the Audio Bus forums, because it's not always about Audio Bus. They talk a lot of shit about apps there and shit that ain't working. There's a lot of complaining bitches on that website. So if you want to hear what's not working, go there. You will hear everybody bitching and complaining. So I'll be watching that over the next week. And normally, when a major update happens, a .1 comes out within a week or 2 weeks, because it does affect people's devices. And, you will get people saying, oh, but I downloaded it and it worked okay for me. And that's all good and fine. But we all have different apps that we rely on. And we all have different usages for our phone or our iPad. So anybody just saying, oh, but it worked for me, it is just a blanket statement that you can't take on board. So I just don't want to see people's creativity get stifled, especially during Songtember, because if it happened to me right now, it would fucking kill me, because I'm really close to finishing this EP. And I know how much it would hurt me, and I don't like seeing other creators suffer that kind of shit, because let's be honest, man, we're humans and we're fragile people. We are a fragile species, okay? So, and there are so many people who try things or do things, and if it fucks up, some people don't go back to it. And I would hate to see someone's spirit and soul get absolutely crushed because of something like that. They were halfway through a project and then they can't go back to it. So that is my reasoning behind it. Now, let's get to the fun, because I want to show you something really cool. Let me have some coffee, and now the fun begins. So let's talk about apps, right? Because that's what this show's all about. And I show a lot of apps here, and some of them cost money and some of them don't. And some cost a lot of money. So in this example, I'm going to show you something that this is exactly my point I'm trying to make. This particular thing I'm about to show you could and probably will be destroying people's lives today. People's whole creativity will be up the shit because they don't have the money to replace this. Right, so there's an app made by Positive Grid called Bias Effects. Bias Effects 1 has been out for the longest time. Bias Effects 2 has just came out. And Bias Effects is an expensive app if you want to pay for all of the amp sims and all of the pedals and stuff. It can cost people, wherever you are in the world, depending what currency you're in, up to, myself, $100 to unlock this shit. Most people, American currency, $50, $60 kind of thing. If there is someone out there right now who's still using Bias Effects 1, which still works on all of the devices, even though Positive Grid have said they won't be updating that app any longer. But there are people who don't have the money to go out and get Bias Effects 2 and start using that. All right, so they're still using Bias Effects 1. So let me switch over to camera here. And you're only seeing my guts here. So here is my iPhone 6S, and clearly we are on the new iOS because there's the widgets. So I've got my widgets, and when I go right to the end, there's this really pointless app library. Why this is here, absolutely befuddles me. This little thing here is fucking pointless. Why it just doesn't do that and give me a list straight away makes more sense. But that's my little gripe. So here we are, iOS 14. We're going to go across here to my instruments. Let me just click on it, instruments, and you can see up the top there I have Bias Effects installed. Now I'm going to open it. Oh, hang on. Oh, but I paid $100 for that. But I paid $100 for that. That's no longer working, and I can't afford to update Bias Effects 2. Is somebody going to update this app? And here's the shit bit. You know what? No. Because Positive Grid have said they will no longer be updating this app. Look, they may go back on their word. They may get public outcry over this and people crying about it, and they may go back and try and fix this. I would hate to be hanging off of that right now, but there's somebody who's just lost $60 worth of apps because they updated and just assumed that it would work. So that's just one app, okay? And I don't have all the apps in the world. We all don't have all of the apps. We don't use the same apps as each other. You know, sure, Garageband may still be working, but those inter-app audio things, and it looks like the other thing that people are reporting are not working well with iOS 14 are save states within inter-app audio and within AUV3 plugins. Not all of them. It's only a handful that have been listed, but more will come to the fray. And save states, how important are they? If you've saved settings that you now are going to open up a project and go back to, and those save states are gone, fuck, man. It's going to piss people off. So now that I've had my rant about that, I feel much better. It's the only reason I said it, because I hate seeing people's creativity stifled. And I feel incredibly bad for anybody right now today who's opening up Bios FX 1, doesn't have the money to upgrade, and now has no guitar sim. I would be crying. I get very emotional over this stuff, and I would be crying. Anyway, let's move on. Let's talk about my album cover, which I have been working on. So we're going to open Over. Now, on my first episode of this very show was my look at this app, and I want to go back to this app, probably do another show on it, because I think the first episode I made a death metal cover, and funnily enough, here I am today showing you a metal cover as well. So let's open up this sucker, and as you can see, I use Over for virtually everything. I use it for my banners every day, my little Apple bingo card you can see there, which I had for my live stream that got taken down the other night. I use it for virtually everything. It's mini kind of Photoshop. It's cool, and it's very simple. So here's the artwork I made very quickly, just to get an idea of what I wanted to do. Now, this actual photo, this artwork, this was taken from something, a demo from the film that I'm producing way back when I started the film in September 2018. It was just a stupid idea for the film of all these people screaming, some demons, and a bunch of D-Wave computers controlling humanity. So I used that just as a backdrop, as a placeholder for this album. So last night I started to work on the actual concept of what I wanted to do for this album. And so the EP's, it's 3 songs. The EP is called World Divided. And I wanted, the image I had in my head, because the music is about money, control, and the current state of our society being split down the middle and at loggerheads with each other over fuck all. When the people at the top just keep licking the cream and dancing in their fucking money, while we're down the bottom wave our arms going, hello, hello, look at us, and they're just throwing money at us, you know, through all this pandemic and stuff. Because if anything, more than ever, money has been proven that it has little value right now. I mean, businesses are shut down. Governments are just printing money off hither and thither. There is no standard behind the money. I keep saying this, the only reason money has value is because we keep allowing it to. So welcome along, Gary Hubbs. Fantastic interview. It was really cool to see you in action in your hat with your cup and all that shit. So thank you for that. That was really cool. And I just wanted to say this while you're here. You have been an inspiration of me doing this EP for Songtember, because for the longest time in the Garageband users group that we all hang out in, there really wasn't a lot of metal going on. And I feel like a kid in a candy store at the moment because there's so much metal happening there, and I just want to punch holes in walls because I'm so excited. I'm like, Big Kev, I'm excited. Anyway, that out of the way. So the album cover I'm trying to create was this image of buildings of power, so skyscrapers, buildings, leading to a background of buildings in the background on fire and like a world in chaos, with people at the bottom screaming with their arms in the air, panicking, celebrating, a mixture of division and happiness and joy and confusion, with a world some kind of photo of planet Earth with this huge gash down the center of it, split wide open with blood bubbling out of the earth. That's my idea for the album cover. So I'm going to walk you through how I put it together last night. It's definitely not finished. As you can see, this is my blank canvas that I started off with. So just to, where are we? So this is a 6,000 by 6,000 pixel square transparent image. And most of you will know when you're uploading artwork to a digital distributor, they want, 300 or 3,000? I normally do 3,000 by 3,000 anyway, but I normally start off with the 6,000 by 6,000 to make it as much clarity as possible. So now all my layers are already done in here, and I am going to show you how I began this. So let's start off with the background photo, which I used. Now this photo, this is something I've put together from my film. This is a scene from my film, which I animated in Pixaloop, it was. So I have rehashed a few things from other projects. Yeah, 3,000 by 3,000. So I always do 6,000, just to be sure, because I have uploaded things to DistroKid that were 3,000 by 3,000, and it's come back and said it's not enough. So I changed it to 3,001 by 3,001, and then it worked. Weird, but true. So let's, I'm just going to bring up so all of these layers I've got for my album cover, I've just got the opacity turned down. So I'll show you how I put these together. So let's turn up the opacity of this particular image if I can. So there is my background. So this is a scene from my movie. So it's just this ragged city that's all burnt out with a bit of smoke and everything. A lot of this photo is going to be completely covered. So, and what I have done also, you'll notice, is there's another version of it. So I've got two. You can see it doesn't work. It's mismatched down here. The only reason I've added this one was just to cover up a few gaps that were in my bottom artwork. So you're not really seeing this anyway, but I've just thrown it in there but you'll see this more as I add more of these layers to the album cover. So the next thing I wanted to do was create this planet Earth scene. So I had this originally. So this is my original picture of Earth. Now how I pull these pictures, let's just show you how I do this in Over. So what's fabulous about Over, you can add your photos. So you can add your photos, favorites, you can a whole bunch of things. But when you scroll over to this section in Google and you type in something, so if I put planet Earth, it's going to come up with, and all the images in this section are transparent PNGs. So it gives you a whole lot of transparent PNGs to choose from. If they've got a white background behind them, they're not transparent. So you've got to look for like ones like this that have a transparent. You can scroll down, load more, like so, load more, and you can load a whole bunch. You can type anything in here, and pretty much if it's on Google and it's a transparent image, you can find it. So I took that image of Earth, then I moved across into Pixelmator, and what I did, you can see here, was I took my eraser and very roughly erased a split down the middle of the Earth. So it looks super rough, and you can see it's shocking. But you're not really going to see how shocking that stuff is once I add effects to cover that stuff out. So that's just this Earth and this transparent background. Then I imported that image back over into Over. Tell me, what's it like when Spot rubs up and down on... Oh, man, I'm doing fucking lines from Flying High. What the fuck is wrong with me? So let's bring in my planet Earth now, and we'll turn up the opacity. There's my planet Earth. So right now, it looks pretty bad, yeah? That looks pretty shit. We've got two images that are hodgepodge, one underneath the other. We've got this Earth slap bang in the middle. Looks pretty stupid. So I want to create... And what other effect I have added to this planet Earth, I can show you by doing this. Let's pull out this photo here. We'll pull out both of them for a second. La la la. So I've added a shadow to this. So you can see there's a shadow around the Earth. Just let me click on the Earth. There we go. So you can see, and I've got a blur effect on it, just to blur it out there. So very simple effect. It still looks stupid at this stage, but let's add these backgrounds back in. Opacity back up. I love this app so much. It is just, this app makes me so happy. Without this app, I would be not a happy camper. So I want to create blood in the middle of the planet Earth. So I want to, but I don't want it dripping out of the Earth. I just want it to look like the core inside. All right. If it was animating it, I'd want it kind of throbbing. So what I did was grab, so down the bottom here, you can choose shapes. So I just chose a circle shape and gave it a color red and put that underneath. Where are we? There it is there. Let's bring up the opacity of it. So there's that. So that's just to give it this. And because I did the black outline around the Earth, it gives the red, it looks like it's a shadow. It looks like it's deep. So there's a lip. Actually, it's got a 3D effect to it. So there's that. So now we've got the start of my picture. So now I want to build on top of this Earth and create. The next scene I added was this city picture. Okay. So this is something I had floating around for ages that I did, I think with, what was it? Some kind of, it's an app for like architecture and doing straight shapes and stuff. So, and the original color of this wasn't like this. I added a whole bunch of saturation. So I've added a whole bunch of contrast to it, so it was to give it darkness and exposure. So that's the bottom section of the album. And then I needed some people. Now this is something I just grabbed from doing a Google search within this app. And let's bring this in. So there's my crowd. Very simple. I don't want a lot of people. I just want enough of a silhouette of people down there, hands raised in the air, enough hands. So I'm probably going to double up on this or make another few of them just to get more hands happening, because this is totally not finished yet. So now I've got a structure of this. This is starting to look like what I want it to look like. So now we brought in, what else did we bring in? So then I wanted to make the money falling from the sky. And I'll show you first, before I show you the product in here. Let's jump out of this. And here's the project before. I actually started this in another project. So you can see all this is a close-up of money here falling from the sky. Now how I made these, you can see there's a whole bunch of layers. This is the same image, but reversed, flipped around on its side, shrunken, smaller. So you can see there's a small one up here, small one up there, slightly bigger ones down the bottom to make it look like the money's getting larger as it falls down. But clearly, as you would know, using an iPad or an iOS device, creating this many layers within a project, it can start to slow down your project. So at this point, what I did was, and why I have this image just with the money. So I removed everything, just kept the money, and then I saved this as a new PNG and then created a new project, which is this one. And then when I wanted to add the money in, it's all in one file. So then I can just bring up the opacity here and there's all the money falling down. So it's freeing. So I just freed up as much space as I possibly could for the image, so I can keep adding things and it doesn't get bogged down and it doesn't become a frustrating process of creating this album artwork. Then it was time to move on. Look, I've got some fireballs here I was going to add. There's a few things I haven't. The other thing I've added too, let's bring this in. So I've got that's not the one I wanted. It's the top one. So I've got this bloody handprint on the side of the planet, which I wanted to have like a human handprint covered in blood, just to show here's the mark of what humanity have done to this planet. in a bloody handprint. And I originally had two handprints, one up here. Here it is. It's this one here, hidden behind the cache. But I felt two handprints was too many. I think one is just enough. That it's just like that dying grasp of just one hand reaching up kind of thing. And I think I wanted to make it more of a statement of the problem. The other problem I see, what this album is about, is the selfishness of people. That people have become so about themselves through social media, and it's all about me. And you know, even through this pandemic, of people going, well, I'm not wearing a mask, why should I? I'm healthy. And people have lost this ability to give a shit about others. So I think the one handprint works well in that. As you can hear, there's a lot of political statements or current statements I'm trying to put into this album without it all being in your face. So then I went for the logo. The logo, again, still not finished because I just have to reverse these T's to make an upside down T at the beginning, and a right side T and an upside down T for the logo. But I have uppercased the me to make it more of Metheist. I think I mentioned in another show that my flatmate pointed out, saying, if you don't capitalize the E, it looks like Metheist. Maybe people will think you're a meth addict. So that's the reason behind that. Now what I have done too is I've doubled up the actual image, because as you can see, it's not much, but it just gives it a little bit of depth behind it. And it's just easier than fucking around with colors and stuff. And in a placeholder at the moment, I've got these here. Let's bring this up. So the actual album title, World Divided. So that is the album cover right now. And definitely it's not finished, but it's a serious beginning for me. I'm getting closer to being happier with it. I'm really happy with the split down the middle of the earth. I'm probably going to add some more things to it falling from the sky, or I'm not sure. We'll see where we go. This weekend will be the proving of that. I'll just jump out of here, and what I want to show you and get your opinion is, so I've got two versions of it. That's the one you've just seen there. And this one I've got here before is, look, I actually think I like the one before. I think this one's good. I like it because it's colourful. Because I like things that pop, and I like that it's more just the earth that's popping. But this is the one I actually like more, because I don't know why. It's, and I haven't got the actual song title there. I like it because it's more dull, and I think that maybe it's a bit more representative of where we're heading right now, the way things are going as a species, how a lot of our minds have been a bit dulled, and people are just not giving a shit about each other for the most part. So that's where my thinking is there. I'm going to keep working on it over the weekend. So that is the artwork. Let us know what you think, if you think I'm going in the right direction, if you've got any suggestions or anything like that, or in the comments if you're watching on the replay. And lastly for today, what I wanted to cover was, yesterday I looked at the last song on the album. So I was in Garageband, and I was just fixing up the kicks and all that stuff. And last night, I actually moved the drum tracks into Auria Pro. So I'm going to open up Auria Pro and show you what's going on here. Let's shut all this stuff down, because it's the right thing to do. Yeah. So let's open up Auria Pro, and what I have done for consistency, and this is something you can apply to GarageBand or any DAW that you are using, so just want to be clear on that. So the first song that I imported into here, let's load the recent. So it's can't think of what it's called. It's God, I hope the new one's actually saved. World Divided. Let's just have a look. I don't want a new project. Cancel. Load project. I don't think it's in here. That is really bizarre. Oh no, there it is. No More Lies. So the original second one, Yeah, I think the second one too. So I hope I didn't influence your decision there. Oh well. So the first song I imported into here, right? I've actually done a lot of mixing of it. So I'll open it up now. Eventually, yeah, come on, let's go, Auria Pro, motherfucker. All right, let's unmute these tracks. So I've done a fairly good mix of this particular song. Let's have a listen. Maybe not. Why is that not working? Oh, do I have something still soloed? No. Let's try this. When in doubt, turn off your audio interface, shut down, and come back. Let's turn my audio interface back on. I think this happens because I'm using my audio interface and streaming at the same time and using my desk. But this should work. Let's see. Cool. So because I've worked on the drums on this particular track and spent and I want the album to sound consistent all the way through. So what I did last night was, in a previous show, I imported the drums for the song Idiocracy. And I started with a new palette and just imported the drums. Last night I deleted that and I made a backup. So I went into here and saved the project as a backup copy of project and then named it the next song, and then went in and removed all the drums and imported the next set of drums in, and then I saved this again as another backup. So all the settings that I currently have set, cancel. So all of these settings that I have set for the drums in this project all transferred across to the brand new song, which is really cool. So everything sounds equal at the moment. All the drum sounds are exactly the same. And I'm going to make sure I do that for the whole process to make sure all the drums are the most important thing. Guitars can be different because that gives the song character, but I really want a consistent drum sound. So let's open up the yesterday's project that I've moved everything across, which is called, Forgotten Again, where are you? No More Lies. Is this the one? Yes. So this is No More Lies. Eventually. I wonder if the sound's going to work this time. This could be a bug that I think, because I think this was happening last night too, if my memory serves me. Let's see. Yeah, look, sound's gone again. That's interesting. So I'll shut it down. This is new, and I haven't updated to iOS 14. There we go. So it's the exact same sound. And while we're here, I'm just going to, because I've laid no bass tracks or anything onto this as yet, and you'll see even all the guitar tracks from the other song are already set here with the panning and everything. So I can just plug in, and because all the guitar effects are all saved in this project, I can virtually get the same guitar sound. So that's really cool. And I'm really excited about that. So let's bring up the bass now. Bass! How low can you go? And we've got our input set. So I will let you know too, with the other two songs, they were completely tuned down to D, the whole guitar. So it wasn't just a drop D, it was full thing down. But this song is in E, and I was going to bring it down to D, but I don't know, I liked it already how it was. I liked how the bass popped in E. So I've decided to keep it there, and it gives a different feeling, I think. Because this is the opening track of the album. So, and my bass is working, let's see. Yes, yes, yes. So I thought I'd just do a quick take of this song with the bass here, and do a quick one with guitar just to see if I can remember how to play it. This is going to be fun. What are the riffs? Because I haven't like even looked at this song since I did it 2 weeks ago, since I wrote it. Humanity had the answer to solve a never-ending stupidity. Cool, that seems right. Now I think I need a click track on. I'm not sure. I think it's a 4 count and then it comes in. So we'll see how it goes. Let's hope for the best. Too early. So it must be, let's have a look. Looks like I've done a 8 count possibly. I think that's right. Let's try that. And I played it wrong anyway, so let's give it a go. And it looks like it's a bit loud. It's a bit hot, so I'll pull it down a bit. I must be right the first time. Yeah, definitely right the first time. Sorry about that, everybody. I don't even know my own song. Yes, how professional. I love it. So let's do 4. So it's an incredibly basic song. It doesn't have a lot to it. And that's the idea behind it. I didn't really want it to be an incredibly challenging song. I just wanted it to be punchy and have the bass drive the whole thing. So what I will do now, just quickly, is give it a guitar and then we'll wrap it up. So, let's do this too. Let's flick over to this screen, and I think I can get rid of that live chat logo and put my little screen up there. So let's jump into a guitar channel. What do we got? Turn that off. What I will do, let's bring this back to the center. Turn that to, what we're going to do is jump out of here, jump into audio bus. So we'll add port 2, bias effects 2, Auria Pro. And we should have some kind of sound happening, hopefully. Ah, that's why. Oh, one moment. Let's see. All right. I've still got my lead in my bass. That's pretty smart shit, yeah? I'll save you all that noise. Sorry about that. I hate that shit. And let's whack this back in to the guitar. So I'm on my 6th string today. Do we have guitar now? Cool. Alrighty, let's bring my camera back. Where are you? Happy days. Now I want to select, I don't know what sound I've got selected here, but we're going to go with the same one I'm using all the way through this recording. Now, what you have noticed, see how I've selected this track here? I showed you this in yesterday's video and it hasn't done it because I turned off the settings, so it hasn't added an extra track. Happy days. So what else am I going to do here? I'm going to select another track. And so you'll see input 2 is selected. So now if I solo this one, because in my effects here, I have this overloud effect brought in. So now I've got 2 channels running at the same time for this take. Where is my camera? I think it disappeared. Come back. There you are. Cool, so I'll do a take of this. Hopefully I'll remember it. And this is what I'm going to be doing. So for each of these songs, I'm doing 2 tracks. So 6 guitar takes. And then I'm panning 2 of them like this. And the second track of each, I'm leaving up the guts up the middle with 2 different effects. And then these 2 here will be some kind of higher note or anything. And then I'm sending these tracks off on the weekend to my friend James, who's going to be adding some solos and stuff to some bits. Because I'm pretty shit at solos. It just is what it is. So let's have a go at this. See what these levels are like first. They look pretty good. Nothing peeking out there, so that's all right. So we can start around here and give this a go. Let's start around here. Oh, God, I love this stuff. Unsolo, dick brain. Alrighty, let's go. Cool, that's a good rough take just for then. A lot of mistakes, but that's all good. Just so I know what's going on, then I can bring it up in the mix, see what we've got going on. Let's have a listen and see what it sounds like with a bit of volume. The click track off, because that's annoying as shit. And some of the bass a bit down.
Fuck the system. Fuck the lies.
Take your name. Gonna take all the power away from the money and the system. Cool. So we're all good. Consistent drum sound. So even if I shoot across here now and load Idiocracy. So the other track I was, so this is the third track on the album. I think this is on maybe the second one. I don't know which order yet. I know. Oh, we look at, and there we go. We've got a crash. This shit happens, you know. I don't want to send a report, but let's try it again. See if it'll load this time. Gotta love that shit. All right, so we can bring this back now over here too. Live chat, camera off. Cool. Hopefully I can load it. Idiocracy. And it could be crashing because I've still got cool, very good. All right, so let's unsolo these. You'll hear the drum sound. Should be very consistent. And again, man, I'm not digging this. I don't know why this is. It looks like it's a new thing. It could be something I've installed on my iPad, something, or I think maybe it is because I'm doing a live stream that it's happening. But here is the drums, just for consistency. That's a bit loud. Sorry about that.
It's time to throw the fucking retards in the oven. I'm sick of all the stupidity.
Anyway, there you go. So that's where I'm at right now. Today I've got an interview with Samantha Edge coming up. So if people are still awake in America, that's 11:30 New York time. What's that? 8:30, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, 8:30 p.m. LA time. Way too late for people in the UK. It's at 4 a.m. So it's 11:30 and 8:30 and 4:30 a.m. London. 1:30 here in Melbourne. 1 p.m. in Adelaide. So I'm doing an interview with Samantha Edge. If you'd like to catch that, should be really good. She's an amazing artist, and I've been hanging to have a female on the show finally. And we have 2 coming up. So one next week as well. Yes, Gary, my lyrics are always subtle, man. We live in a world, man, where too many people are censored, and sometimes you just need to be blunt. And that's me, and I'm never going to change. And if I do, kill me, please, because it's just not me. So that's happening today, an interview, and as you can see, I'm ready to go for this weekend to nail all this stuff. All my drums are ready. I know all my parts. I'll be smashing through these guitars probably later today. Be sending them off to my friend to add his little bits to them. Be working on my album cover, doing vocals on the weekend, and hopefully by Monday I'll have close to my finished product. And I've set a goal for my latest. Next Friday is the very latest. I'd like to have it done by next Wednesday, Tuesday or Wednesday coming up. So that is the goal. I hope this Songtember stuff has helped you guys. I know it's been a bit of a departure away from doing apps, but I know I'm costing a lot of people money by reviewing so many apps. So I thought this week would take a break from it just so everyone can collect their thoughts and get used to some of the apps that I've already gone over. Next week, we'll be back doing some apps and wrapping up this Songtember series. So hope to see you for Samantha Edge interview. And if not, catch you on the replay and all that kind of stuff. If you're watching on the replay, subscribe to the channel. I know you're watching. Yeah. Like, share, subscribe, all that stuff. It helps the channel heaps. Thank you all in the chat for always being here. You're absolutely the best crew. You make it worthwhile getting up every day to see all of your virtual fingers typing in the chat there. It makes me extremely happy, and I thank you very much. Alrighty, folks, that's it for today. Have a good day. Keep creating. Do what makes you happy. And yeah, all that good shit. We'll see you again soon. See you a bit later if you're around. Take it easy. Adios, amigos. Bye.